That was a head scratch in honor of those lyrics, in case you're wondering why I do that at that particular moment many, many times. Good morning, afternoon, whatever. Wanted to talk a little bit today about this, a little bit more about the gift of the law. Dun 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 dun. And let me get to the verse first. John 3:18. He who believes in him is not condemned, but he who does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And this is the condemnation, that the light has come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone practicing evil hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his deeds should be exposed. But he who does the truth comes to the light, that his deeds may be clearly seen, that they have been done in God. Those are the words of Christ. And I feel like what he's impressing upon me today is really actually in a way it's so clear. And then I feel like we as human beings muddle it up a lot and tangle it and add to it and justify it. What's the word? I don't know. We make it confusing. Because what he says here is basically he came to be the light of the world. Hooray, everyone wants light, right? I don't know, especially in circles I run, light is a popular positive to be invoked, and for good reason. As a former scared of the dark individual, I quite recognize that as a joyful thing. But Christ speaks here of the light came into the world, and there will be those who love the light and truly love the light and fall upon it. And then there's those who will want to do their own thing, and they will either pursue darkness, or they will try to make the light their own, or they'll try to sashay close enough to the light, but not be fully in the light. And it's funny, because really the only thing that Christ demands, and God demands, well, it's hard to say the only thing, isn't it? But I would say is give up. Even more than surrender. But give up. Embrace the light. Fall upon the light. Fall at the feet of the light. And likewise, I think it's time, at least it's been closer and closer a time in my life, to see the Ten Commandments as an issuance of the same thing, really. That in a way, the issuing of the Ten Commandments to his people were was another climactic moment, really, where obviously Christ came to really sort of consecrate and cement this devotion to his people, but the commandments as well were in a similar way, saying this is how to seek the light. This is where these are the zones where I exist, and God is the light, and really nothing else but God is the light, is what Christ says. And so I even just wanted to read the commandments, and if you just want to listen to them in the way of, we've all done them. We've all done probably all of them. Because Christ said, if you even have hate in your heart for a person, if you've murdered someone in your heart, then you've trespassed on that commandment. But see them not as darkness, because I think a lot of times you see things that no must mean darkness. But sometimes no can be light, such as when there is a poison warning on a bottle. It might say no, don't drink this, and you're like, what? I can drink what I want. Right, but no, that's actually an illuminative text, that poison, to tell you that no, this is darkness, this is selfishness, this is you that wants to do this, and I want to guide you not only away from not doing that, but I want to change your life. I want to change your heart to where doing so would be anathema to your very existence, because of your mind, because you live in the light. and to commit darkness would seem, you would recognize it as the affront it is. So let's look at this with some happiness. I'm going to read the 10 Commandments. Can you believe it? Gonna. I made Artie laugh. Yes. You shall not take the name of your Lord, the Lord your God, in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Definitely done that one. We've all done that one. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Really just started doing that. I swear to goodness. I mean, many times as a child, I suppose I did. But really, just recently, really started taking that and really making that the Lord's Day and just resting and stop working, for God's sakes. Gee, that seems like, honestly, it should be the easiest one to follow. That sounds like the most fun commandment of all, right? Don't do anything. Just do me stuff, says God. Okay. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. That's a hard one, but I think that's especially as a child, that's where the root of this light and behaving and treating others in light comes from, because none of our mothers and fathers are perfect. All of our mothers and fathers are sinners and desperate creatures just like we are. So learning to forgive and to love those who are there for us, whether they're there for us in the ways that we want or completely opposed to us, is learning to forgive and love those sort of first examples of humanity that you're confronted with. I think is a powerful and delicious thing, for God's sakes. Never easy. Never easy. Can I get an amen? Amen. That's right, I did it. You shall not murder, or even wish murder, or think murder on others. That's hard. I've totally broken that one thousands of times. Thousands of times. But the less I do it, and the more I keep my temper under control, which quite often has led to me murdering people, honestly, the more graceful my life has been, the more beautiful my life has been, and I think the more people are able to be drawn to me, and I'm able to move in the world in love. Anyway, enough about me. You shall not commit adultery. And he says if you lust after another woman in your heart, you're committing adultery. Done that one? Probably somewhere in the past 2 days. What? It happened. I don't know. It's hard. It's the tricky one, for God's sakes. Doesn't mean, but turn from it. You know what? Because where does that get you, really? It gets you into envy. It gets you into darkness. And it gets you into this lack of satisfaction with the beautiful things that you have. And it's ridiculous. And you know what? Most of the time, I feel like it's not even like a super active thing. I don't know how it works for y'all ladies, but for fellas, it's almost just like a lazy thing. You're like, oh, I wonder. What? Just a useless distraction, I'll call it. Although there's darkness, all these things, we've all done them, just so you know. You've probably done all of them. This is the amazing thing about them. You shall not steal. I've literally stolen. I used to be like, if it's from a corporate thing, I don't care. The corporations aren't human beings. Relativism, getting all up in it. We've all stolen. Come on. Maybe not. I don't know. Some of you might not have. Well done. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Slander, gossip, any of that. We've all done that. Come on. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, neighbor's wife, servants, ox, donkey, anything that is your neighbor's. Envy in this town? Oh, never. But all that does not have to condemn you. Christ came to free us from that. Not only free us from the consequences of that, of having fallen short of God's law. Here's God's law. Pretty simple, 10 things. And all, of course, they extrapolate. But not only free us from that, but then even free us from the desire to do so. And that's the process portion. Free us from the consequences? Done, check, awesome. The wanting to do so? Day by day. Day by day, Lord, help me. Day by day. Keep me in the light. Love you.